There's something deeply human about the fear of growing old and being alone. It's a topic that gets mentioned often on platforms and across countless forums where people share their fears, experiences, and wisdom. But here's the thing. Being old and alone is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It doesn't have to be something you dread, and it doesn't always feel like the stories we've been told by society. In fact, there's a profound, often overlooked beauty and strength that can come with it. So come along, and let's explore this together. Number 1. Understanding solitude versus loneliness. Before diving into this, let's be clear. Solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. Solitude is a choice. It's the peaceful acceptance of your own company. Loneliness, on the other hand, is the pain of feeling disconnected. Many people who are alone in their older years, surprisingly, do not feel lonely. They find deep contentment in the space they've created for themselves. On the flip side, many who are surrounded by people, family, friends, even a partner, can feel crushing loneliness. One person shared, "I've been married for 40 years and I've never felt more alone in my life. I look forward to moments of true solitude where I can connect with myself and the things I love." This story resonates with many. Being old and alone isn't automatically bad. For some, it's a path to self-realization and peace. 2. Freedom in the later years. As we age, life naturally shifts. Children grow up, careers wind down, and the fast pace of life slows. For many, these changes can feel like losses. However, countless people online talk about a surprising sense of freedom that comes with this stage of life. You finally have time for yourself. No more running around trying to meet everyone's expectations. You can be unapologetically you. One elderly woman wrote on a forum, "I was terrified of ending up alone after my husband died, but in the quiet, I found myself again. I started painting, something I'd always wanted to do but never had time for. Now I paint every day, and it's like I'm having a conversation with my younger self." This is the kind of story that gets repeated again and again by those who have navigated old age and solitude successfully. It's about reclaiming your time and rediscovering the joys and passions you may have set aside earlier in life. 3. Connection still matters, but it changes. Even though many people cherish solitude, meaningful connections still matter. What often shifts is how people connect. Many older individuals, especially those living alone, develop new ways of nurturing relationships that may be more fulfilling and less exhausting than the relationships of their younger years. Online communities, for example, have become a lifeline for many. A man in his 70s shared on Reddit, "I live alone and have few friends left in my town, but I found a chess forum online, and now I play games with people from all over the world. We chat about life, and it's like I've built this whole new community." For some, connecting with strangers online brings a sense of belonging without the emotional weight of close traditional relationships. It's a low-pressure way to share experiences, offer advice, or simply chat about everyday things. The same can be said for hobbies and local clubs, gardening groups, book clubs, or volunteering opportunities. These are spaces where people can connect without feeling the pressure to fit in or conform to someone else's expectations. 4. Dealing with the what-ifs. Of course, one of the biggest concerns people voice about growing old alone is practical. What if something happens to me? It's a valid question. Fear of declining health or becoming physically vulnerable can feel overwhelming. Many people share that this fear kept them up at night, especially if they didn't have children or family nearby. But what's interesting is that the more people talked about it, the more solutions emerged. One common strategy is planning early. A woman in her 60s shared, "I made the decision to live in a senior co-housing community. It's wonderful because while I have my own space, there's always someone around if I need help." Others opt for medical alert systems, joining senior networks that provide assistance, or even moving to areas with better healthcare access. It's about preparing, not panicking. Knowing that you've put systems in place to protect yourself brings peace of mind. And once the fear is addressed, many people find they stop worrying about it altogether. 5. Shifting perspectives on aging alone. An often discussed point is the changing attitude toward aging. Being old alone used to be viewed as a failure, a sad state, but many people are now challenging this outdated view. They're redefining what it means to age and showing that alone doesn't mean unloved or unwanted. A man in his 80s shared, "I've outlived most of my friends and even my wife, but I'm still here. Every day is a gift. I read, watch birds in my garden, visit the library, and sometimes I just sit in silence and listen to the world. There's peace in that. I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. I feel more connected to the world now than I did when I was in my 40s, constantly busy and running around." This is a beautiful perspective. It speaks to the idea that aging alone can offer a richness, depth, and a kind of quiet joy that you may not experience when you're constantly surrounded by others. 6. Practicing self-compassion. One of the hardest parts about aging alone, as many people mention, is learning to be kind to yourself. Society doesn't often prepare us for how to treat ourselves when the busy years of raising kids or working long hours are over. Suddenly, it's just you. And if you're not careful, self-criticism and regret can creep in. A retired teacher in her 70s shared, "I spent too many years being my worst critic. Now, I'm learning how to be gentle with myself. I have a cup of tea every morning and sit by my window. I watch the sun come up and remind myself that I'm worthy of love, even if it's just from myself." This is key. Learning to give yourself the grace and care you would offer a dear friend. For many people who grow old alone, self-compassion becomes their greatest tool. It's about taking time to nurture yourself, embracing imperfections, and allowing yourself to just be. 7. Rediscovering joy in the simple things. A recurring theme in the stories people share is how older adults, especially those living alone, find joy in life's simplest moments. A cup of coffee on a quiet morning, a walk in the park, the sound of rain against the window. The older we get, the more we realize that happiness isn't about grand events. It's in the small details of everyday life. One elderly man commented, "I sit on my porch every evening and watch the sunset. It's the highlight of my day. There's something about the stillness, the colors in the sky, that makes me feel connected to the universe." This sentiment is echoed by many who have learned to slow down and savor life. Being old and alone gives you the time and space to notice these fleeting moments that often get lost when life is too busy. 8. The power of routine and structure. One aspect of aging alone that often goes unmentioned is the importance of routine. Many people on forums share how establishing a daily structure has brought them a sense of stability and purpose. Without the obligations of a busy household or job, life can feel disorganized and empty. But this lack of structure can also be an opportunity to build a life on your terms. One gentleman commented, "After I retired and my wife passed, I felt lost. But then I made a schedule for myself. Morning walks, reading after breakfast, a puzzle in the afternoon. It may sound simple, but it gives my day a rhythm and something to look forward to." Routine doesn't have to be rigid or overly structured. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you, one that includes activities that feed your mind, body, and spirit. This creates a sense of control and order, which can be comforting when life around you is unpredictable. 9. Reinventing relationships with younger generations. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're disconnected from younger generations. In fact, many older adults living alone find deep fulfillment in mentoring or forming friendships with younger people. Whether it's through volunteering, online forums, or community activities, sharing your life experience can create meaningful bonds. One woman shared her experience. I started tutoring kids at the local library. Not only do I feel useful, but I've formed friendships with some of the teenagers. They come to me for advice on things I never thought I'd talk about again, like breakups or college applications. It's a whole new chapter of connection I didn't expect. Intergenerational relationships provide an exchange of energy and ideas. For the younger person, it's the wisdom and life experience you offer. For you, it's the refreshing perspective and enthusiasm they bring. These relationships often blossom into something unexpected and mutually beneficial. 10. Redefining success and legacy. When people talk about aging alone, they often worry about leaving a legacy. There's a societal pressure to believe that if you don't have children or aren't constantly surrounded by people, your life won't have lasting meaning. However, many seniors argue that legacy isn't about who remembers you after you're gone. It's about how you live your life now. One man shared, "For years, I thought I needed to leave something tangible behind, like a family business or a book. But now I see my legacy is in the kindness I show every day, in the smiles I get from strangers, in the help I give to others. That's enough." This shift in perspective, seeing success as the daily moments of kindness and the impact you make in small ways, can be liberating. It releases the burden of thinking you need to leave a monumental mark and instead focuses on living a life of meaning in the present. By reframing what success and legacy mean, being old and alone transforms from something to fear into an opportunity to live authentically and make a difference, even in the simplest of ways. So here's the truth about being old and alone. It's not what many people fear. Yes, it comes with challenges, but it also comes with immense freedom, peace, and for many, a deeper connection with themselves and the world around them. If you're watching this and feel anxious about your future, remember that aging alone can be a transformative experience. Surround yourself with things that bring you joy. Nurture the relationships that matter, whether in person or online. And most importantly, learn to love and trust your own company. As one woman beautifully said, "The relationship you have with yourself is the longest one you'll ever have. Make it a good one. You are enough, just as you are." Feel free to share your own thoughts and experiences in the comments. If you found this video helpful, kindly give it a like and subscribe to not miss any of our future videos. Take care, and thank you for watching.